Welcome to the Running Library. Today we're breaking down the key ideas from Grit by Angela Duckworth. Let's get into it. Picture this. You're out on a run. The first few minutes feel easy, almost automatic. Then your breathing gets louder, your legs start negotiating, and a little voice pops up. We could stop, no one would know. Now here's the question that matters, not just for running, but for school, work, relationships, and any big goal. What separates the people who keep going from the people who slow down, drift off, or quit? Angela Duckworth's book Grit argues that the difference is often not talent, not luck, and not even motivation in the moment. It's grit, a combination of sustained passion and perseverance toward long-term goals. And the key word there is long-term. This isn't about being intense for a week. It's about staying committed when progress is slow, when you're bored, when you fail, and when the shine wears off. If you've ever felt frustrated because you're not naturally gifted, or you've started strong and then fizzled out, this book offers a framework, part psychology, part practical coaching, for how people actually build exceptional achievement over time. So, what is grit about? At a high level, Duckworth, a psychologist and former teacher, became fascinated by a simple pattern. In many demanding environments, academics, sports, military training, sales, spelling bees, raw talent didn't reliably predict who succeeded. People who lasted and grew were often the ones who could keep showing up, keep practicing, and keep caring about the goal long after the initial excitement faded. The book explores what grit is, how it differs from talent, how it relates to deliberate practice, how purpose and hope keep grit alive, and how parents, coaches, and cultures can encourage it. Duckworth doesn't pretend grit is the only factor in success, but she makes a strong case that it's a major one, and that it's trainable. Now let's get into 6 key takeaways, with examples you can actually picture in your own life. First takeaway, grit is passion plus perseverance, and both parts matter. A lot of people hear grit and think it means grinding, pushing through pain with pure willpower. Duckworth's definition is more nuanced. Perseverance is the keep going part, but passion is the keep caring part. Passion here doesn't mean constant excitement. It means consistency. You don't change your goal every month. You stay oriented toward the same North Star long enough for compounding progress to happen. Think about running. Lots of people can force themselves through a hard workout once. Fewer people build a year of consistent training aimed at a specific goal, like finishing a marathon or shaving time off a 10K. Grit is the person who keeps training through the unglamorous middle, the easy runs, the slow improvements, the setbacks. Second takeaway, talent matters, but effort often matters more than we want to admit. One of the most memorable ideas in the book is that talent is not the same as skill, and effort is what turns talent into skill and skill into achievement. In plain language, being naturally good at something is nice, but it's not the finish line. Effort is the multiplier. You've seen this in real life. 2 people start learning a new skill, say public speaking. One has natural charisma, the other is awkward. If the charismatic person relies on talent and avoids practice, while the awkward person rehearses, seeks feedback, and keeps taking speaking opportunities, the less talented person can surpass the more talented one over time. Duckworth's point isn't talent is irrelevant. It's that talent can create early wins, but effort is what keeps the wins coming. Third takeaway. The most effective practice is deliberate practice, targeted, uncomfortable, and feedback-driven. Grit isn't just stubborn persistence. If you keep doing the same thing the same way, you can work very hard and still plateau. The book highlights deliberate practice designed specifically to improve performance. It's focused on weaknesses, it pushes you slightly beyond your comfort zone, and it uses feedback to correct mistakes. Here's what this looks like outside of sports. If you're learning to write, deliberate practice isn't just write more. It might be write a short piece, get critique from someone who knows what good writing looks like, revise it, and repeat, especially focusing on the parts you avoid, like structure or clarity. In running terms, deliberate practice is not just logging miles. It's doing a workout that targets a limiter, like intervals to build speed, hills to build strength, or controlled tempo runs to improve threshold, then adjusting based on how it went. Deliberate practice is mentally demanding. It's not always fun, but it's where growth happens. Fourth takeaway, your grit grows when your work connects to purpose. Duckworth talks about how people sustain effort longer when they believe their work matters beyond themselves. Purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It can be as simple as, I'm getting healthier so I can be present for my family, or I'm building this skill so I can contribute at work, Or, I'm training because it keeps me grounded, and that makes me better to the people around me. Purpose is what turns discipline from a daily argument into a daily decision. When you know why you're doing something, you don't need to negotiate with yourself as much. A concrete example: imagine two people studying for a difficult certification. One is doing it because they feel they should, and they're mostly afraid of failing. The other sees it as a step toward a career that aligns with their values: more autonomy, more impact, more stability. When the material gets hard, the second person has a deeper fuel source. Fifth takeaway: hope is a skill, especially the habit of interpreting setbacks as temporary and solvable. One of the most practical sections of the book is the idea that gritty people aren't magically more confident. They're often better at responding to failure. They tend to see setbacks as information, not identity. In other words, failure isn't, "I'm not cut out for this." It's, "That approach didn't work. What do I change?" This is closely related to how you explain events to yourself. If you habitually interpret problems as permanent and personal, "I always mess up. I'm just bad at this," you're more likely to quit. If you interpret them as temporary and specific, "I had a rough week," "I need a better plan," "I need more reps," you're more likely to persist. Think of a runner who misses a week of training due to illness. One response is, "I blew it, season's over." Another is, "Okay, I'm sick, I recover, I ease back in, and I adjust expectations." Same situation, different story, different outcome. Sixth takeaway: grit is shaped by environment. Parents, coaches, teams, and culture matter. Duckworth emphasizes that grit isn't just an individual trait you either have or don't have. The people around you can cultivate it or crush it. Good coaches and mentors tend to combine high standards with high support. They don't lower the bar, but they help you rise to it. They give honest feedback, they normalize struggle, and they model persistence. Culture matters too. If you're in a group where showing up consistently is normal, where practice is respected, where improvement is celebrated, your own behavior tends to follow. That's why training partners, writing groups, and supportive workplaces can be so powerful. They make perseverance feel like the default. Now, who is this book for? And who might not like it? Grit is for you if you're working toward a long-term goal and you feel stuck in the messy middle. It's for runners, students, creators, entrepreneurs, and professionals who want a clearer understanding of why consistency beats bursts of motivation. It's also helpful for parents, teachers, and coaches who want to encourage resilience without turning everything into pressure. It might not be for you if you're looking for a quick hack or a simple morning routine that changes everything overnight. Also, if you're in a season where rest, recovery, or stepping away is the healthiest choice, a push harder message can feel off. Duckworth does acknowledge complexity, but the core theme is perseverance, so you'll get the most out of it if you're ready to commit to something for the long haul. Now let's turn the book into an action plan you can use this week. 3 steps. Simple, but not easy. Step 1. Pick a North Star goal and define what staying looks like. Choose one meaningful goal you'll commit to for a set period. Say, 3 months. Make it specific enough that you can act on it, but broad enough to matter. Examples: I'm going to run 3 times a week for the next 12 weeks. I'm going to publish 1 video a week for the next 10 weeks. I'm going to study 30 minutes a day for the next 8 weeks. Then define staying in advance. What do you do when you miss a day, when you travel, when you feel unmotivated? Decide now so you don't have to decide later. Step 2. Build a deliberate practice block into your routine. At least once or twice a week, do practice that targets a weakness with feedback. If you're running, that might be a structured workout, followed by a quick review. What pace did I hit? How did it feel? What do I adjust next time? If you're learning a skill, it might be record yourself, get critique, result, repeat. Feedback can come from a coach, a friend, a community, or even clear metrics you track consistently. The key is that it should feel slightly uncomfortable and very focused. That's the signal you're practicing, not just performing. Step 3, create a setback script and a support system. Write down a short script you'll use when things go wrong. Something like, "This is temporary. This is part of the process. What's the next smallest step? What can I learn from this?" Then pair it with support: a training partner, a check-in text, a calendar streak, or a weekly review. Grit grows faster when you're not doing it alone. Finally, let's wrap this up. Grit is a reminder that the real advantage isn't being special, it's being consistent. It's choosing a direction and sticking with it long enough for the results to show up. It's practicing in a way that actually changes you. It's finding purpose so the work means something. And it's learning to treat setbacks as a normal part of the path, not a verdict on your potential. If you're listening to this on a run, try this. As soon as you finish, pick one goal you care about and one small habit that proves you're the kind of person who doesn't just start, who stays. This has been the Running Library. If you want more book breakdowns that turn big ideas into practical miles, subscribe and tell me what you're training for on the road, in your career, or in your life. If you found this summary helpful, subscribe to the Running Library for new insights every day and tell me in the comments what book or article you want next.